All right, my friends. Today we're talking about work-life balance with Gabriel Collignon. This is episode 4 of the Best in Class Marketing and Business podcast. And Gabriel shares with us his experience with coaching people on navigating entrepreneurship and life, being able to divide their times equally or set up the preferences and priorities for themselves between business goals, objectives, and family time and relationships. So it's an interesting episode, and I've always wondered, like, what someone comes to me and says I'm a coach, and I'm like, okay, so what do you do, like a life coach? I mean, what you just tell people how to live their lives? Well, it's more than that. It's just giving some guidance, and then basically what I got from this is like the most important part maybe of being a coach is keeping someone accountable for what they've told you or what you've told them to do. So you set up a plan and then you keep them accountable for the actions that are included in that plan. So that's what Gabriel kind of puts into perspective for everybody in this episode, and he kind of walks us through through the coaching business, and what does it take to be a coach, and then how does he use social media marketing to promote it. It is a social media marketing podcast, and business, but we started it. We are a social media marketing agency, so it's only natural for us to be including social media and marketing into all of those interviews, trying to get you different perspectives on people using the tools available to them to promote their services, businesses, brands, whatever. So yeah, Gabriel is doing just that. He also owns an agency, and mixing the two and combining them together helps him get clients, work with his clients, and then get them results. Interesting interview. Just make sure you watch it to the end. It's about half hour. If you're listening to it in the audio, make sure you subscribe, rate, review, give us some feedback, send me some comments. Let me know what you think. I really hope you guys are getting some value out of this series, and I'll keep doing them. I have other people lined up. I'm still editing and finishing up the interviews from the San Diego trip. I have a few more left, and it looks like they'll be coming in every Wednesday. So far, that's what it looks like the pattern would be. So look out for them every Wednesday. There's a YouTube channel, which is in the comments. Maybe you're watching it on the YouTube channel. So bottom line, let me know what you think. I really hope you're enjoying this. I really hope you're getting some value out of all that. And if you have any questions, or if you have anything that you would like me to discuss with anyone, or maybe you have someone that you want to suggest I reach out to and talk to, let me know. I'd love to hear your input. Enjoy the interview. Gabriel Collignon, Work-Life Balance, coming now. Bye.
Watch my money grow, watch my money grow watch my money grow like a proud parent. Yeah, my money getting old, and it's colder than the snow bunny. Happy get money, honey.
I'm here with Gabriel, right?
Yes, Gabriel.
So, thanks for agreeing on doing this interview.
Well, thank you for...
We are at Social Media Marketing Conference. It's right behind us. Today is the registration. Everybody got their badges. We're all excited about it, and actually Gabriel is the second person I'm interviewing today, aside from my friend. I met someone on the plane yesterday flying in here, so we did an interview mid-flight. It was a fun interview. So a quick introduction of, we spoke with Gabriel before we started recording, and he said he's doing coaching. He coaches people on how to balance their life, how to make sure that they have enough time for their family and their business, and also runs a digital marketing agency, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
So we're just gonna talk to him about what he does exactly and how he approaches his clients, and what are the benefits that he gives them, maybe some strategies on how everybody can manage their life aside from just being in the business 24/7.
Yeah, that's correct.
All right. So, what can you tell us about the business? Like, what is the main thing that people come asking when they come to you, when they reach out?
Well, usually they have a hard time, maybe with their kids or their spouse. They've been spending too much time at their business because it's when you're an entrepreneur or a business owner, you basically your main focus is to grow your business. You want to have like all the your financial growth, your future is based on your business. So they focus on growing and growing and growing. And there's a moment when you're starting up that you need to focus so much in your business that you forget about other things.
Right.
You forget about your health. That's the first thing you forget when you start your business. You know, you eat at the wrong times. You eat the wrong food. You don't care. The first thing you don't care about yourself. And then it starts going to like your spouse, well, your friends, your spouse, your kids, and that also breaks the harmony in your home. You know, and if you're not good, if you're not in balance with yourself, you can't be in balance like with your spouse, your wife, your husband, or
So
your
that
kids.
would reflect on your business eventually.
Yeah,
going
eventually
forward.
it's also going to reflect on your business because the people you work with, they see you're not balanced. You're mad most of the time. You're not in a good mood, and it does reflect on how you do business and how you treat the people that's working with you.
So what is the first thing that you when someone comes to you, like what is the first thing? I mean, I'm thinking right now when you say all that, it almost sounds like a psychiatrist in a way, but for business owners, you know, like a psychotherapist, I would say maybe. So what is the first thing that you tell them? Like, what is the immediate thing that someone should do when they have or when they feel they have some kind of, or they've gone down that path and you know they're trying to find a way to balance it out and get out of it?
The first thing is to acknowledge it, because when you're a business owner, you have a lot of power. You know, you are the one who is in charge of things, and it's difficult for you to accept to be wrong. And the first thing that happens is when people approach to me, they ask me, okay, how do you balance your life? What are you doing? And it's just the first thing I acknowledge that I'm a business owner and that I cannot separate my business and my life. A lot of people tell you when you go home, you need to separate your business and your life, and that can't be done.
Okay.
Because if you're passionate about what you do, you're passionate about your business, you use your business to grow the financial future of your family. It's part of who you are, and you can't just leave it behind. You can't just go home and what happened at work? Nothing, because my business over there and my family's here. And you have to embrace that and to acknowledge that you need to have some time for your family, for yourself, for your kids. And once you acknowledge it, the next step is you need to know yourself. You need to learn to know yourself and what are your boundaries. What do you like? What you don't like? What is your foundation? Who you truly are. So you don't change who you are in business. A lot of people, when they're like a conference like here and they start networking, they pretend to be someone else.
Okay.
And you can't you can't be balanced when you're not who you really are. You know, when you're with people, you need to be yourself, and you need to know what you are not going to allow to and what you are allowing to.
Okay.
in your environment.
So what are the main type of business? Is there like a main type of business, I would say, like a main type of entrepreneur that comes to you or that reaches out to you with that kind? I don't even want to call it a problem, but with this type of experience, maybe. I mean,
Yeah, it's mostly there. If we try to talk like an age range, it's between 35 and 50. It's when they are starting to build a family and they're starting to becoming successful in business.
Yeah.
So it's when the paths start to go both ways.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes
And women are mostly the ones who acknowledge the problem first, because they're the ones more attached, like to their kids, to their spouse.
Yeah.
Men are usually a little bit less receptive with this situation, but eventually, when they a longer time to acknowledge this situation, it's the problem. It's deeper and it's harder to kind of. It's not a problem, but this situation is harder to solve. It's harder to balance.
So how did you get into that line of work? Like what's your background? Do you have you done this before? Was it based on personal experience that you said, okay, you kind of realized that it's more than just running a business, and okay, people are actually having this issue, let me try out and help them.
Yeah.
Like, how did you get in it?
It was, well, I've always be very family oriented, and my dad tried to be with us, and he was a small business owner, and he tried to be. We are three brothers and myself. I'm the older, and my dad always wanted to be with us, but he couldn't, and it was a little bit unbalanced, the relationship between my dad and us. My mom was also an entrepreneur, so she was also trying to run the business. And when I was a kid, I was like, I don't want to live this kind of situation. I wanna be there for my kids. I want to be there for my family. And it started like in high school. I was the person my friends came to for an advice. They had a problem with their parents, so they wanted to talk to their parents because they were not close enough. And I started to talk to them. And then I went to I studied engineering, so it wasn't very much like on this side. And
so you have an engineering background?
Yeah, I have an engineering background.
Like computer engineering or engineering?
Mechatronic engineering.
All right. Well, that's yeah. This is like on the opposite side.
Yeah,
of
on the opposite side. Yeah, that's right. And
so how does that tie with everything? Do you do engineering?
No, actually, when I was studying the university, I worked for the university and at the admissions office. So I was more like the marketing guy who helped the university get more students.
Okay. Which university is that?
It's the Pan American University in Guadalajara.
Okay.
And it was funny because I was most of the time doing conferences for the university instead of studying because I needed to work. And that's how it started. Well, actually, when I was working and studying, I started the marketing agency, the digital agency. I built the first website for a university in Mexico that actually brought business. Not an educational website, but more of a marketing website.
A recruitment tool.
Yeah, and it was the first university in Mexico who had one.
It's funny you mentioned. I work with higher ed a lot, and one of the main things is that universities, that's a little off topic of what we're saying, but I just thought about it. They don't think of their websites as a recruitment tool, and actually that is the main recruitment tool that they have, but a lot of times they don't realize it. Mm-hmm. So they just put in their events and everything, but they don't utilize it. So that's really smart of you that you managed to see that and put it in place for that university that you were mentioning. So yeah, so you said digital agency. So is the digital agency part of the consulting, of the coaching that you do?
No, not really. Well,
it's a separate business.
It's a separate business. I started with the digital agency in 1998, 99.
Okay, so it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while, and eventually I love doing speaking and conferences, workshops. So but in the topics of business and life balance,
Yeah.
and topics of success, but with happiness and fulfillment. So that's kind of what I love the most. And I started doing the conferences and left the agency working besides, and just started working with business owners.
Okay, so the coaching is now your main.
Yeah, that's
the
my
main thing that you do. Do you do any marketing at all now?
Yeah, I do a lot of personal branding.
Okay.
And of course, I use social media. It's like today's thing. It's Facebook, Twitter. And my recommendation is for everyone to have an account in every social media. It doesn't matter if it's a new one or an old one. Just create one. There's gonna be someone there.
Well, it's funny you say that, because a lot of people say the opposite. A lot of people say choose top 3 or choose one and concentrate on that and be good at it instead of spreading in every place. In your case, it works being on all of them. So at the end of the day, it's basically whatever works. Just do that and more of it, right?
Definitely.
So what do you
what would be an advice that you give someone that is having an issue, other than just, you said recognize it, and the first thing is to just say, okay, I need to change something, and then work towards it. So what would be the next few steps that someone should be looking into to try and balance all that the madness of business ownership that everybody knows it's tough, and it takes a toll on everybody. So it's really an interesting niche that you got yourself in helping people to overcome this. And part of this interviews and the podcasts and everything is we trying to interview business owners, entrepreneurs, people that have struggled, that are struggling at the moment, and trying to do exactly what you're trying to help people do, come out of this, or maybe find a way to improve it, or just see things from a different perspective, realize you're not alone in this, because everybody's entrepreneur, and being in the business every day and trying to hustle and trying to make it work, you a lot of times forget about everybody else around you, and you don't see that you're not the only one. If you look around you, like if we go inside here, there's a ton of people, and I'm sure every one of them has similar problem. I'm calling it a problem, but I don't have another word for it, but a similar case.
Yeah, it's very, very common. Sometimes they don't want to acknowledge it because they think they're the only ones, or they're the only ones having the situation with their wife or their kids, and usually when their wife or their spouse or the husband tells them they're not spending too much time with them, the first thing is they reject, and they say, I'm doing this for you, I'm doing this for my kids, I'm spending all this time in business because of my family, and that's not the real that's not the reality. You're doing it because you want to do it. You're doing it because you made the decision that at that moment it's better to spend more time in business than with your family, and you just need to. My recommendation would be focus on 3 areas. I don't know. You can focus on, like I said, your business is you're not gonna separate it from your life. So you can focus on your business and maybe your relationship with your wife, and maybe a little bit your health, and just put a number from 0 to 10. How do you feel in each one of those areas, and start improving. Just it's little steps, the ones that help you. Like, for example, if you're not spending too much time with your wife, talk to her and start by going out once every 2 weeks or once a month. But you need to stick to it. You need to put it in your agenda, and
make a commitment.
Yeah, you need to make a commitment to go that, and also with your kids. And whatever happens in your business, it doesn't matter. You need to save that date for them, and that's how you start gaining momentum.
Someone once told me, a very successful businessman, friend of mine, he grew a company within 10 years and blew it out of proportion. Ridiculous. So interviews and all that, and he was telling me, one of the reasons and one of the ways that I managed to do all this is when I go home, there's no business. If I haven't done it in the office, I'm not gonna do it at home. It's not gonna, if it hasn't been done through the whole day, and if it hasn't finished, it's not gonna finish while I'm at home.
Yeah, that's
so he's like, I would leave all the things all the business stuff at the office. He's like, I don't even have a computer at home. It's a tech company that he built. So he's like, I don't even do computers at home, because if I haven't finished it in the office, chances are I'm not gonna finish it at home. It's only gonna make things worse. And he's like, but when I wake up in the morning and I go in the office, I'm in the office. And he's like, this is what it is. So that's how he had partners and all that, but that's how they managed to grow a business, and they grow it pretty big, like $300 million.
And that's the way to go.
Yeah.
You don't work at home, but even though you sometimes think about your business when you're at home, but you can share that with your spouse.
Like me, for example, I'm all the time. I'm never not working. Even when I'm watching TV, it's mainly like a background. I'm just doing stuff on my iPad. I don't feel it as a problem. Maybe not yet, but I see what you're saying. So how do you, going back to since we're at the social media marketing conference, how do you promote yourself? What is the main What is the main promotion, let's say, strategy maybe that you're using for
Well,
social media?
I do a lot of videos helping people and I don't know overcome maybe stress, help them with a particular issue or some case studies of clients of mine.
Yeah.
And I just create the videos and put it on social media. And if someone likes it, they contact me.
Yeah. So what would the strategy be? Do you put money behind the videos? Like, do you promote them?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Okay.
But I like organic, but it's definitely better just to target who you want
Okay.
to target because
So-
it's not gonna it's gonna take you longer.
Yeah.
You know.
So do you do audiences based on video views?
Yep.
That's
And
cool.
interaction, also
And interaction,
engagement.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then you retarget and
Yeah,
do
I
all
do.
that stuff. All right. So and from your agency, what kind of companies do you work with on the digital side, the digital agency that you have?
Mostly we work with family-owned businesses, and the last years we've been growing a lot with medical practices like doctors, physicians.
Where are you based off?
I'm based in Colima, in Guadalajara, in Mexico,
Okay.
and I also have an office here in San Diego.
Okay. You live in
I used to live in San Diego,
Yeah.
like I don't know, 8 years ago. And
Okay.
I lived here for 6 years, 5 years.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Cool.
So it's a great place. I love coming back.
Do you provide some kind of a kit, maybe like a coaching kit, or so when someone signs up for you for the coaching?
Mm-hmm.
Do you give them, okay, this is like a checkbook, checklist of things that
No,
they
actually, I
need to
work
do?
with them one-on-one. It's
One-on-one?
yeah, I sit down with them and let's start doing like everything. I call it a clarity session to
Okay.
see where they're standing at and how do you feel with, I don't know, your wife. How do you feel with the spirituality? How do you feel with your health? And we go through all areas
Okay.
of that person, and we focus on what he feels he's the worst at that moment. And it's just continuous improvement, you know. You can't focus on all the areas at once. You need to start improving in one and then another, and we start building momentum with
So
that.
how does your clients feel after the sessions? Like, how many sessions would you, like when you get someone, how long usually it takes for them
I
to-
usually work with them no less than a year,
Okay.
6 months to a year,
Okay.
but the best time is 1 year.
Okay,
You know?
and then you have continuous, like a monthly maybe, or yearly?
Well, we only work twice a month
Okay.
because as a business owner, they don't have the time to be with you. Like, oh, okay, yeah, let's start and the whole day focus on.
Exactly,
They need
okay.
to be in their business.
Okay.
So we have a meeting. Usually it's Skype or Zoom or any video conferences, and we work. We start by, like I said, by making, like I said, making maybe a checklist and how
Yeah.
are they in their areas, and we start creating a plan, you know, and what are you going to do, and then we make commitments, and I help them follow those commitments. You know, it's part of my job to help them.
Hold them accountable for the things
Definitely,
that they said they'll
and
do.
I also call them, and you know, do you remember tomorrow you need to go,
Okay.
you know, on your date with your husband
so,
or
so
your
you add that personal touch
Definitely,
to it,
because
yeah.
it's not when you just try to coach at the at the couch or at the table, and you need to do this and that, and you leave them alone. There's no point of them being with you. You need to help them.
Yeah, there's this saying that a lot of people are selling courses online, telling you to get out of your comfort zone while they are doing video in their penthouses.
Yeah, I know.
They like tell you get out of your comfort zone, but at the meantime they're like in a $20 million penthouse. But
Yeah, and I do have an online course where I teach them the like the basics and how they can
Yeah.
get started, but that it's also with being with them for 3 months after that, and so they can see a video of what they need to do, and then I have a group call with them, and
Okay.
how do you feel about this? What are you doing with this? And there's always follow up in what I do.
So
I
it's
don't
a
like them.
It's a long-term commitment, at
Yeah.
least a year, and then they continue. So what is like? I don't know if you would call it. Would you be like a success rate on this? Like, how do they feel once that year is gone? Do they see a big improvement? Do they see a lot of change?
Well, yeah, we work in quarterly goals,
Okay.
and we start growing in those areas. And it's not that in a year you're going to be fulfilled. You know, it's
Okay.
something that you still need to continue work on. But once you know the methodology, the strategy behind it, it's easy for you to do it. I don't want to be behind them more than a year, because I want to show them how can they do it, and they can come back, and they usually come back and like on a mastermind, but not twice a month,
Okay.
because there's no reason for me to help them if they're not going to be able to do it alone. They need to live their life alone without
Yeah.
having.
I mean, you don't have to be holding their hands all the time, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Good. So would you let's circle back to a successful strategy that you think would work for coaches like yourself, people that coach, whether business coach or life coach or any kind of coach. What you've seen working for you, and what would you say someone that's maybe watching or listening this can try on their own and give them some kind of a tip on how to promote themselves. Like you said, the videos are one thing.
Videos are. I create content, like long content, like if it was a workshop or a conference, and I don't like to hold anything back. So that's the first thing that I would tell them: don't hold anything back. It doesn't matter. Either they're gonna find it through you, or they're gonna find it online.
Okay, so don't be shy. Don't be shy to be in front of camera.
Yeah, and don't try to hold anything like, oh, this is only mine, and I'm only gonna show it when they're my clients. No,
So
just give everything.
Who creates your content? You create yourself?
Yeah, I created myself.
Okay, so can you speak a little bit about that? A lot of people think that the content for social media, online, or in general for promotion needs to be super polished, produced, super expensive. A lot of times the excuse is, I don't have the money to do it, so I'm not gonna do it. I can just put a video of my phone all shaky and dark on the internet and have people watch it. What's your say on this, since you're doing your videos by yourself? I don't know if you have any production background or creative background or anything.
No, actually I don't.
Okay, so can you just say something? Because I've heard a lot of people say, oh, but when I say let's do video, for example, let's try and get some videos. Oh, but we have to spend so much money to produce it, and I keep telling them, not really. I mean, we're doing this interview on the go with materials that fit in a bag, like 11 inches.
And it's amazing all the equipment you have. It's nice, but it's nothing fancy. It's nothing
Right.
that you gotta have a studio here. No.
Just enough to get the message out. So what can you say about that, really?
I would definitely recommend you what you're saying. It's just do it with your phone. Actually, I got a tripod, my phone, and just
That's a nice rig. Can I look at it?
yeah, definitely. And the only thing I'm adding to the phone is I have a wireless mic,
So you have a wireless mic.
so I can if I do also an interview.
Is that a light?
And it's just this was a I don't know if I can, but it's
Yeah,
a
this is
$17 tripod.
some kind of a fancy tripod with
No.
a bunch of electronics. It
Actually,
looks like it, but it's all basically it's just a phone connected to what looks like a selfie stick, a little bit
it
of
is a selfie
glorified
stick.
selfie stick, and a wireless mic connected to it. So
And actually, the one of the things what I like about this is it's like yours. It comes into a tripod,
yeah,
and I like this one because it's 67 inch, so I
Right,
can
it's
be
tall.
stand up. But it's just that you don't need anything else. And I started with just my cell phone. That don't be shy. Just do it with yourself. People actually are more engaged with those kind of videos than with a lot of production.
yeah.
They
Thank you for
think it's
saying
fake.
that. Yeah, when it's less produced, it looks more real.
Yeah.
People say people can relate to it. People can say, oh, that looks like that, that video that I shot last night when I was drunk in the bar.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's relatable. That's the thing, and I think we'll see. This is day one of the conference. I think we'll see a lot of the sessions talk about. I remember from last year that was mentioned, but I think it's going to be more this year. Relatable content.
Mm-hmm.
It's where things are going, and one of the things is the videos. Less produced usually gets more engagement, and everybody that I've spoken to agrees with that. And even if you do testing on videos and postings on social, you would probably see it for yourself. So yeah, don't like he says, don't be shy to get in front of a camera. I mean, I'm not a camera person. I hate my voice on microphones, but I mean, who cares? If you like to hear what he has to say on how to get your life on track and not be afraid to run your business and your life and be successful in both, then we get the message out. And if you don't want to watch it, don't want to watch it. Don't listen to it, right? So yeah, what else? Where can people find you? Like, what's the best way for people to connect with you?
I have everything on my socials. There's my email. You can shoot me an email, DM me on Instagram.
What's your Instagram?
Gabriel Collignon, same. And I have 2 channels because I go to Spanish speaking and English speaking. So I
Okay.
have English and Spanish.
Okay, well, I'll put that in the notes too. But it's good for people to hear. Would you recommend any books or anything on like that you would have seen help people with what they're dealing with, with what you're doing? Would you be any books that you would recommend, or any articles or something?
Yeah, well, there's I definitely love how I think you can learn from any successful person. You know, there's like Gary Vee. He talks a lot about hustling and how he's. But actually, when
Look
you
at his videos. I mean, he does videos with his phone, not even worrying if it's going to be upright or sideways.
yeah, and even though he talks a lot about hustling, when you see his videos and he talks about family, he says that when I'm at home, and I don't
Yeah.
care about my business, even though he has $1 million business. He's managing that, and I think you can find like Gary Vee, Tony Robbins. I don't practically any successful entrepreneur talks about being balanced in their life. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of
So it's important.
it's really important, and I definitely recommend. I do a lot of audiobooks, so I think they can
Yeah.
help you in the go instead of just.
Do you have a website?
Yeah, it's GabrielCollignon.com, or you can go to successhappinessandfulfillment.com.
Okay, sounds good. All right. Anything that you want to add, or anything that we missed?
No, I don't think I want to thank you very much for this
no,
time, and
it's
I appreciate it.
My pleasure, man. I hope to enjoy conference, and I'll see you around. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much.